then I'll do like an 8-week transformation of blocking and trying to get jacked as fast as possible.
What's up guys, and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let us start this video with Martin-Fitzwater. Now we did not get to see his most recent physique update, as the man has stayed pretty much covered up throughout this prep, except for that pose down that we saw from him at Detroit Pro with Samson Dauda. So we are now less than 30 days out of one of the most anticipated shows of the year, the Pittsburgh Pro. And although Martin did not release any physique update, but the man did release a new YouTube video, which was recorded at around 8 weeks out. And you can kinda see how it looked like a few weeks ago. And we can predict what kind of a package Martin is gonna bring at his first show of the year, the mighty Pittsburgh Pro. Now at first glance, the man just looks bigger in every single pose, except for maybe the back double biceps. And that is most probably because of his mobility issue, which he has been working on. Now Martin and Stefan, they are gonna enter this show knowing damn well that he's probably gonna get beat in both the back double biceps and the back lat spread by Derek. And he's probably gonna lose the back double biceps against Nick as well. But those legs on Martin, they are so damn insane, so crazy. The sweeps are so damn unreal and so unique. And with more size everywhere, this is gonna allow him to create more of that illusion of having an insane V-taper and a very pronounced X-frame this time around. Now another thing that we are all probably very excited to see here is that how is Good Vito gonna compare to Martin at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro? And not just Martin against all these guys, but more specifically against Martin, because both these guys, they shared the stage last year in Detroit. And I have got to say, based on this update by Martin and how crazy good Good Vito looked in Brazil, the side shots are not gonna be even close, as Good Vito's arms and shoulders, especially from the side, they're still lacking depth and the thickness. Now Martin's side shots looked absolutely insane at the New York Pro as well as at the Olympia last year. Now Nick Fokker has some of the most impressive side shots in the current bodybuilding, but he did not win those shots against Martin by a landslide last year. Both these guys were very close. Now Martin had an ideal season last year. Only a few bodybuilders out there in the history of this sport they can claim that they placed top 4 at their Olympia debuts in their first try, and Martin is one of them. So this is really gonna be a testing show for Martin-Fitzwater. And none of us imagined that the lineup for the first ever Pittsburgh Pro, that is gonna be this insane. Guys, we have a limited time offer. If you buy any flavor of Bloodshot, you are gonna get a free Dying Breed t-shirt. The discount code is on the screen right now, and use the code FAZI10 to get 10% extra discount.
I mean, there's really no other option, you know?
So if there is one thing that has remained constant throughout Nick Fokker's career, that is his self-belief and the kind of confidence that he has in himself. And fact of the matter is, he has proven himself a number of times. I mean, no one out there really believed him when he said he's gonna win the Arnold at his first try back in 2021. But he did do that, and that is the part of history and his legacy now.
Honestly, I think everything's improved, especially my legs. I am very, very happy with how my legs look. I think my back has come up. I think my chest obviously is still my weak point, but it has definitely improved over the past couple of weeks. Arms, you know, it is what it is. Shoulders has always been good. So, but I guess legs would have to be the number one.
So him saying that this will be his all-time best, that also means that he's gonna beat his Arnold 2021 look. Now every bodybuilder out there, they claim that their best of all time is loading presently. Before any show they do, they say that this is gonna be their all-time best. But we just know that isn't always true. But if Nick Fokker actually brings his all-time best at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, you guys have to believe he's gonna shock the entire bodybuilding world. He's the odd man out here, especially in our potential top 3.
Oh, this prep is way better. You know, it's not even close. Honestly, it's not even close.
Because both Martin and Derek, they are already qualified for the Olympia this year. And both these other guys, and also Good Vito, they have superb aesthetics, very shapely guys, and they have very eye-pleasing physiques. While Nick, on the other hand, he's a mass monster, a freak of nature, and there is a reason we call him the mutant. Now, it has been said many times by the experts that for Nick Fokker to win this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, he needs some help from Derek. But first, Nick Walker and his new coach, they have to make sure that they nail it 100% in terms of everything. And that too on their first prep together. Because this is a big one. Now it isn't a secret anymore that Nick's last 2 preps with his former coach Matt Jensen, they were far from ideal. But this time around, he seems a lot more confident. And that kind of shows in his physique. So just imagine for a second, Nick Walker wins this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. Him and his fans, they are gonna be serving that humble pie to everyone who has talked any kind of trash about him, especially Bob Chicarello.
Oh, is bacon. I mean, we may need to slow it down. It might burn. But it is baking.
And let's say if that happens, what would be the Olympia predictions this year? I must say whatever happens, this is gonna be a year to remember for the men's open bodybuilding. So another day, another crazy update. But Michal Križo, another freak of nature, also going for this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. Just look at how thin his skin is looking at 4.5 weeks out, and how that skin is wrapped around his abs. And to think that he has another 30 days to go to dial it in 100%. I have to say George Farah, his new coach, he has done an awesome job with him, understanding Krizo's physique. Now Michal Križo does have a big weakness compared to some of these other guys, the top guys in this year's Pittsburgh Pro lineup. His waist looks very wide, especially in that front large spread. But the man is just so big and so round, especially over the arms and the shoulders. The size and the space that Krizo takes up on the stage, that is so immense that if he is 100% on, he can 100% make up for his weaknesses. He is probably among those guys right now who we can classify having the best, most muscular shot in the men's open right now. He is probably top 3. So ever since Krizo started competing, especially after switching over to the IFBB Pro League, the conditioning has been the least of his concerns. But the posing on the other hand, that has always been a big issue for him. And also his back not being wide enough or big enough, especially in comparison to his front. That is the other main thing for Krizo. And have you noticed that he hasn't posted any back updates since starting this prep for this year's Pittsburgh Pro? Which kind of indicates one thing, that the back is still gonna be the biggest weak link in his physique this time around as well. And realistically speaking, we just cannot expect to see some major improvements in that area. Because first of all, that is a genetically weak area for him. And second of all, he's making a comeback after suffering from a shoulder injury. And most of this time, that was spent in recovery. So Detroit Pro this year was a massive success in terms of the audience engagement. And as fans, we absolutely love that black backdrop. Now the live stream, that was also free. Not to mention amazing lighting. And the production quality by Gilco Productions, that was top notch. So we really wish more shows they listen to this feedback from not just the fans, but the athletes competing in all of these shows. Because that backdrop, that is a perfect combination to showcase the hard work of all these athletes. Because guess what? Detroit Pro is gonna be even bigger next year. Because they have just announced the new dates. And this is gonna be the first show of 2026. A week or 2 weeks prior to the Arnold. Now they have also announced bigger prize money. So the first place finisher, he's gonna get at the very least 30 grand, which is gonna be a big paycheck. And we have seen that the guys doing the Arnold, they are already 2 weeks out anyway. So it would kind of make sense to enter this show and grab another paycheck just before the Arnold. Now if Samson Dauda, he decides to do the Arnold next year, you can bet that he's gonna be doing Detroit Pro as well. So that is a very smart move by Fawad and his team. So this is gonna be a big change in bodybuilding season. Because as far as I can remember, the new bodybuilding season every year, that always kicks off with the Arnold.
Getting after it. Legs actually like the one thing on me that haven't really disappeared too much. So it is what it is. I'll do a physique update at the end of my injury. When I start actually training upper body again, I'll do a physique update, and then I'll do like an 8-week transformation of blocking and trying to get jacked as fast as possible.
As Chris Bumstead is currently doing rehab for his shoulder, all he can do is train his legs and have a glimpse of how his quads are looking right now, roughly 5 months after his last competition, which was Prague. Now it is kind of unbelievable how big and lean his lower body still is, even when he himself said that he hasn't been very disciplined with his diet since his retirement. So Chris plans to do an 8 weeks transformation once his doctors give him the green light to start training properly again. And it will be kind of interesting to see how his physique looks like at around 240 pounds, shredded, but not as shredded as he used to get for the Olympia stage. Now for the record, 240 pounds. That was also the weight cutoff for Chris Bumstead for classic physique. But obviously, he won't be using the same amount of gear as he was using in the past, while he was chasing all those Olympia titles. So with 3 months of not even touching any upper body workouts, there will be a lot of atrophy. But Chris said that he's gonna post a physique update before starting the transformation, and after he's done with his 8 weeks transformation. So going back and watching Chris doing all those heavy squats in his younger days, that certainly built up his quads, and that muscle memory is still very strong. So how impressed were you guys with Cbum's current look, 5 months into retirement, and training in a state which is far from ideal? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.